Balanced CEO was and always will be for people looking to create that triangle of strength between health, family, and business. My triangle broke. Small habits over a long enough period of time become a lifestyle. When you fall off the wagon, don't let your pride get in the way of asking for help. Stop trying to change everything at once. Welcome to this edition of the Balanced CEO podcast. I'm coming to you live and solo. Me and the gardener. You can probably hear him in the background. Anywho, we'll work through that. No big deal. I want to just talk to you guys about things that I've been going through recently and how it's affected everything in my life and what I'm doing to get back on track. So, brief overview. Had some personal issues, some attacks, some different things coming at me in the middle of last year. A lot of really made up, manipulative things that caused me some stress and has lingered into this year. That alone was not the catalyst for the physical and mental issues that I've struggled with. But I'm sure under the surface, it probably had a little bit to do with it. My issues have really come from the fact that plus deciding to move 100 miles away to an amazing place. I couldn't be happier with where I'm living now. It's been a dream for years to move to that area, and it has been everything we imagined and more so far. So psyched on that. But the toll of moving and on top of running the companies, on top of travel, on top of multiple family vacations that we stacked up at the end of the year, on top of this lingering underlying issue. And I think really if you go all the way back to the Everest challenge that I attempted in July, or August, technically, I think there was just a hangover from that. I think that pushed me so hard and so far that I kind of just lost my way. I lost my motivation to work out. I lost my motivation to try. When you put those two things together with all the stress of these different moving parts, and then you've got vacations and you've got travel and you've got fun and you've got other things going on, it's really just easy to get lost in the sauce. And I know I'm not alone, and that's why this is the topic for today. The Balanced CEO was and always will be for people looking to create that triangle of strength between health, family, and business. My triangle broke. The number one thing I've preached for years that I thought I had figured out back in 2022 and had built towards all the way into 2025, it got fully tested. And the stress test broke it. I have no one to blame but myself. But I think it's important for people to realize, I'm not perfect. I struggle. Yes, I'm out here trying to teach other people how to get better, but it doesn't mean I don't have my own struggles. I don't have my own issues. I don't have my own things I'm working through. And I'm being transparent because I know that there are a lot of other people out there maybe going through the January resolution and realizing that the resolution they had hoped would be the motivation and inspiration to change isn't what they thought it was. Because it's not going to be. Unless you had already prepped your brain for the last many months to make this resolution stick, it's not going to be the solution you thought it was. I've been working for a few months now to prep my brain for this transition. And in early January, it wasn't a resolution. I didn't suddenly change on January 1st and just pull the rug out from everything I had been doing. I went back to what works for me and what I think is the most proven and successful way to work for most. And that is small habits over a long enough period of time become a lifestyle. And that is something you can compound over time, just like compound interest. And you can compound those habits into massive change over a long enough period of time. So what does that look like? For me, that looks like waking up before 6 a.m., getting in supplements, water, just getting everything done, getting my tea made. Shout out Function Health. Took the blood test, realized I have a Irritation to coffee. Coffee is one of those irritable foods that I really shouldn't be taking. So switch to dragon tea. After a few weeks of it, it's now become something I look forward to the same way I look forward to coffee. Back on track, it was small habits. It started with the wake up. Then it was the consistent tea first thing in the morning, prepping the tea, taking any supplements I need to, getting in some push-ups. Like these things all stacked over weeks of time. It was just one habit that started it. The goal was wake up before 6 a.m. If you're currently waking up at 7:30, I don't recommend suddenly switching to 6 a.m. Your goal should be, first habit, wake up at 7:15. Set the alarm back 15 minutes. Do it for a week. How do you feel? Good? Cool. Set it back another 15 minutes. So now your goal is 7 a.m. By February or March, you're probably waking up at 6 a.m. or even earlier if you feel like it. For me, my natural body clock now is waking me up between 4:30 and 5:30 a.m. It's allowing me to get everything done, get coffee started for my wife, get my tea started, get everything taken care of, and then my son will wake up and I have a great morning. No rush, no stress, no poor me. The next habit was getting my walking back. So it started with 30-minute walks a couple times a day. Now I'm at about 12 to 15,000 steps a day. Now for me, that happened quickly over just a few weeks because it was like riding a bike. It just took a little while of doing the thing for my body to adapt and to be able to go back to a pretty decently high volume of steps. If you're brand new to fitness or if you haven't worked out in a long time and really haven't been moving a lot, building to 12 to 15,000 steps in a couple of weeks probably isn't doable. So start with what you can. If you're pretty sedentary, start with like a 10-minute walk a couple times a day. Build up from there. Don't worry about your step count yet. Ultimately, if you're trying to lose fat, getting in more steps, the better. Fast forward another week after that, I added back in weightlifting. Not a lot. No more than probably 20 minutes tops, start to finish. Oh, but it's like riding a bike. You should probably be able to do more. Yeah, I probably should. But at 42 years old, I'm going to take it slow. I'm going to build my body back up in a way that I'm sore, but I'm not incapacitated. So 20 minutes, one day upper body, one day legs, and another day, tomorrow, I'll do deadlifts and build my core. Obviously, like I said, this will compound over time, and I'll probably go back to 3 to 5 days a week of lifting and days of running and other things. But right now, we're just focused on doing what needs to be done to make progress today, to just move that needle a couple inches. Diet. Where did that start? For me, I went back to really simplified plate method. If you don't know what plate method is, it's basically protein, a carb source, a starchy carb source, I should say, and then the rest of your plate is vegetables. For me, I pile food. Lately, it's been mixed greens, zucchini noodles, broccoli, some sort of health gut biome food. So like sauerkraut, pickles, or kimchi, pickled beets for heart health, carrots, and then a protein source. I've been really digging game meats lately. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I moved somewhere that has tons of different game meat options and ground beef and burger patties and whatnot. So like I've had elk and venison and bison. Those have been the ones I've really enjoyed lately. And then, a carb source, a starchy carb source. For me, it's been sweet potatoes and rice cereal. Those things both fall into foods that don't irritate my system when are eaten. Pretty simple. I'll add a sauce. Like you can go with any type of sugar-free, like barbecue, like the G-Hoo's, or I really like Mrs. Renfro's salsas. Those are a game changer for me. You could go with, there's this company called New Sauce, NU Sauce. I highly recommend checking it out. It's not something you can get on Amazon, but you can order. Those sauces taste really good, and the macros are amazing. So just an idea of what you can do. I didn't do all this at once. I started with the diet and waking up before 6 a.m. I probably wouldn't have done the 6 a.m. if I hadn't just come back from Florida and my body was somewhat adjusted to waking up early. But because of that, I just took it and ran with it. The next week, I added in walking. Week after that, I added in lifting. Week after that, it's coming up. I'm going to probably add something else if I feel like it. Most likely sauna or cold plunge or both, because it usually works really well hand in hand. The bottom line is this shit does not happen overnight. It happens over weeks and months and years. And more importantly, when you fall off the wagon, don't let your pride get in the way of asking for help. I allowed the pride to get in the way over the last 6 or 7 months, and I just kind of put my blinders on and kept moving, and it cost me tremendously. Am I at what I was back in 2022, 2021? No, I'm nowhere near that. Is my body fat there? No. Is it concerning? Yes. So I'm excited to see what these compounding effects can do. I'm really excited to come back with a update in a month or two. And ultimately, what I'm really excited about is that I know someone is going to see this and realize that part of the reason they have fallen short when attempting to change has been because they try to overload themselves with too many changes at once. Stop trying to change everything at once. One small habit, a week later, maybe add a second, or maybe wait 2 weeks, or maybe wait a month. Whatever you do, don't just start changing everything and expect it to stick. Your brain needs to have time to catch up with your body. This is going to be a shock to the system. Make it small shocks so you can absorb that frustration your body's going to display and your brain is going to display and keep it moving. This is the moment. I don't care how old you are, 20, 30, 40, 80. If you want to make a change, make it like you've got all the time in the world left, because I promise you, unless you have a life-threatening diagnosis that requires you to change suddenly and immediately, it's going to be really difficult to make such a sudden, drastic change. Start small, compound over time, and in the end, you'll find out there's nothing more that you can do besides keep digging in.